Welcome along, my name is Ben, and in this video I'm going to show you how to draw and make a Grogu puppet out of a single sheet of paper. Now, on this channel I design, create and show you how to make paper-based working replicas of beloved Muppets, puppets, characters and creatures. Now, they can be pretty complex to make, so in this series I'm keeping it simple and I'm going to show you how you can bring to life your favourite characters and creatures using a single sheet of paper. Now, the basis for creating all of the paper puppets in this series is my printable folding template kit, which you can grab for a small one-off payment from my online store and then use again and again and again to create your own collection of paper puppets. So let's get into it. This is how to draw and make a Grogu puppet out of a single sheet of paper. So this puppet uses template 7 from my kit, but we're going to cut the sheet of paper in half before printing the template. Half is going to be saved for drawing the body, and we print the template on the other half. We cut that in half again, setting aside the mini blank section for his ears, which we'll get back to in a bit, and starting with the head template section that we're just trimming here. So we're going to zoom in here and get a better look. The first thing is to draw this diagonal grid in the centre of the template to make it easier to match your own version with what I'm showing here. I'm starting pretty loosely with the placement of the nose just below the centre point of the grid, then we'll sketch in the pupils and the eye outlines. We won't see the full eye outline in the final result, but I find it useful to map them out here. Though straight away we're going to begin to outline which areas of the eyeballs will be visible. So the lines we're adding here are effectively the eyelids around the eyes, and they have that classic almond shape. So the lines we're adding here are effectively the eyelids around the eyes. I'm not bothered about it being perfect at this stage, we just want to roughly mark it out and can neaten it up later when we go over the lines with a biro pen. So these are his eyebrows, for want of a better word, and they join up to the front ridges on his forehead, and then we add a couple more ridges above those. Then we want to mark in his cheeks, and these lower lines are going to eventually be cut along to allow the final puppet to have nice big cheeks. Grogu has quite a small mouth, but we need to draw it quite large here to take into account the mechanics of the puppet. And in fact, when all is folded and ready to go, the mouth won't look anywhere near as big as it looks now. We add a few chin details, then the top and bottom teeth, tongue, and then a couple of highlights in each eye. As you can see, it's all a bit rough around the edges at this stage, but now we can smarten it all up as we ink over the pencil lines with a biro pen. Once inked in, we erase the pencil marks and we're ready to colour in. Starting with the eyes, I've added a ring of orange around the pupils alongside the black, which I've then covered over with biro lines to almost obliterate it, to just leave a hint of his irises. The mouth is black, and then we start with a single green for his skin tone, and you can absolutely leave it at that, but I decided to blend in a pink colour for his chin, his nose, his top and bottom eyelids and cheeks. And the key thing with the alcohol markers is to blend them when the first colour layer is still wet. I then added a darker green to create some definition, and then worked back into some of the lines with more biro marks for texture and shade. So onto the folding. As mentioned earlier, we cut the cheek lines on each side and then fold the template lines as per the instructions you get when you purchase the template kit. The difference here being that the original template instructions don't include the cheek cuts, so I'll explain how this differs when we get to the folding and gluing stage. At this stage, it's just important to pre-score and ideally pre-fold these lines to make the construction phase a lot smoother. So we attach the cheek sections to these tabs we're gluing here, which are parallel to the top half of the mouth. Then these bottom tabs glue together to create the lower jaw. At the back, we glue the loose tabs to the back edge of his mouth fold below and above, as you can see. and then fold over the very bottom tab. Next, we fold in the top 2 corners of his forehead, and as we're working on a smaller scale here, it's enough to just fold the tips of these folded sections back and behind, rather than attempting the more fiddly way of locking them in place, which is why I share in the template tutorial that comes with the kit. We need to add ears to the head, so we're going to draw them on this other small section that we cut away from the head template earlier. If you draw 2 9 by 4 centimetre rectangles, one shifted left and the other shifted right on the page, and pop diagonal lines through each, it should make it easier to match the scale and shape of the ears that I'm drawing here. As you can see, there aren't exact mirror images of each other, and that's okay, but they are the same size as each other, and that's important. These curved lines here are going to be for scoring later on, as you'll see. Then we colour in using the same colours and layering techniques as earlier with his face. And we add 4 strips at the bottom of the sheet and then cut the ears out. This is the scoring I mentioned. This just allows the ears to glue into the insides of the head at the back at an angle that allows the ears to sit neatly at the sides of the face. We're going to glue a strip of paper to the back of the top half of the face as a finger loop. This second strip we're gluing in will connect the head and body, and this third strip glues into the jaw section as a thumb loop, which combined with the upper finger loop allows us to open and close his mouth. We crease 2 crossing diagonal lines into the top of the body to head connecting strips just below the chin, which will allow the head to move independently to the body when we come to glue them together, and we'll come back to that. Next, we move on to the larger remaining section of the sheet of paper, which is going to become Grogu's body. Again, I'm adding a diagonal bisecting grid to help you match the proportions if you're drawing along at home. Starting roughly, we add these 2 ovals where the arms will be, and then this half oval where the collar of his jacket will be. Then we add in the rough sides and middle seam of the jacket, and then we start to refine from there. I'm not sure a description of what I'm drawing here is going to be very helpful, so I'm just going to talk a bit about Grogu while you can watch me getting on with it. Feel free to mute at this point if you need to concentrate. I don't know how popular Grogu necessarily is anymore, but he does hold a special place in my heart as the first puppet I ever shared on this channel. He wasn't the first life-size puppet I made, that was Olaf, but he was the one that I was most proud of up until that point, and the one that made me consider starting this channel in the first place. Plus, more by default than design, he's still the thumbnail image for my channel. The original puppet took me ages to design and a couple of days to construct, and was made from 20 to 30 sheets of paper. Check it out if you haven't seen it. It isn't a great video, but I think the puppet design still stands up to this day. But you know what? I'm equally proud of this one for a bunch of different reasons, but mostly because I think it's a pretty fun and novel use of a single sheet of paper, as well as being considerably easier and faster to put together than my original version. And to give myself a little plug, the basic single sheet template kit that I'm using here, which you can purchase for a couple of quid, is massively flexible and can be used to make an endless variety of fun mini paper puppets, as you can hopefully begin to see if you check out my single sheet paper puppet tutorial playlist. Plus, you don't even have to wait for me to upload these videos with ideas. If you're adventurous, you can use these 9 available templates in the kit to crack on and design and create your very own favourite characters and creatures. But anyway, back to the drawing. We're coming to the end of the sketching phase here, just adding what will be a few wrinkles to his jacket, and then we're going to ink it in, erase the pencil marks, and start to colour in. I'll share the exact colours I'm using in the description. Here I'm double layering the colour markers to add texture and shade, and then reworking over with the biro to add even more texture. Once done, we cut it out, add the final strip of paper to the back of the body, and then add the head to the body via that strip that we attached to the head earlier. we want to make sure that the strip is glued a bit down the body section so that the chin line of the face is below the level of the collar when we turn it around. Finger and thumb go into the finger loops while the other hand holds the body handle, anchoring it so that you can move the head around. And that is a Grogu puppet made from a single sheet of paper. For more inspiration, check out my other single sheet paper puppet designs in the top corner playlist, and I'll see you next time.